Good evening. I'm going to be teaching the faculty at Arkansas Tech Ozark basic life support. So, one of the reasons that we need to do this is for the ability to help students or help another employee to save a life. So, why do faculty need to know CPR? It's a life saving skill. They may make a difference. Like I said, they may save a colleague or a student. They may be the first one to the patient if EMS can't get there quick enough. Where we're going to have the class, where we always have CPR classes. We'll have the CPR class in the paramedic EMS lab room 235 in the health science and wellness building on the Ozark campus. We can seat about nine instructors in this room. Faculty and staff can participate. We will allow them to volunteer. We won't make anybody do something they don't want to do. So this is a purely voluntary basis. Hopefully we'll be able to set up the classes on a regular or reoccurring basis so that they can stay up to date on new techniques and everything that goes along with CPR. So first, we'll introduce ourselves. What's your name? What classes do you teach? Why do you want to learn CPR? Why is this important to you? Where do we start? The first thing we start with is scene safety. Is it safe? Are there any threats around? Are there bears running around in the woods where you're doing CPR? The next is where we're going to put our hands. Do we place our hands on their stomach? Do we place our hands on the top part of their chest? Typically, we put our hands on the lower half of the sternum and about dead center. And as far as pushing hard, we push hard. We want a depth about an inch, inch and a half. We want to go at a rate of about 100 to 120 beats a minute. No, you don't have to do mouth to mouth. You can use a mask. And matter of fact, we prefer it. If you don't have a mask, it's always better to just do compression only CPR. How hard do you breathe? Well, you want to breathe in. You want to give that patient a breath big enough to expand their chest, and you want to give 2 breaths after every 30 compressions. So the next step, after we put all these things together, once we've practiced doing some compressions, once we've practiced doing some breaths, we're going to put them all together. We're going to watch a video that goes through the procedures, and you'll practice while watching. So you'll be able to do this several times till you're comfortable, and we'll be able to focus on getting the technique down. After we get the techniques down, there are skills checkoffs. So you will be performing CPR on an adult patient and an infant patient. For the adult patient, you'll perform 2 rounds of CPR, which means 30 compressions, 2 breaths, 30 compressions and 2 breaths, and you'll be scored on that on those 2 rounds. With infant, we'll be doing 2-person infant CPR, which means we'll be given 2 breaths and 15 compressions. So, and one person will be given the breaths while the other person does compressions. And who wants to go first? And there is a written test. It's only 25 questions. It's an open resource exam, and you'll be able to do this test in about 30 minutes, most likely. After everybody's completed the test, we'll go over the test. We'll make sure everybody has the answers that they need and the be able to understand what they might have missed. You'll receive a card via email. Save it to your records. You'll be sent an email. It'll probably say you have a card waiting for you. Please accept. And when you get that, accept that card, follow the steps, and then just save it to your phone. That way, if you need to print it at a later date, you're able to. That way you can have it saved so you have a picture of it so if somebody needs to see it. Make sure, though, that when you signed in that your email address is legible and correct. Please complete the online survey at the end of the course. This is a standard policy with the college that we do surveys and that we make sure that our teachers are up to par for what they're doing. All images retrieved from